Hey everyone, Cody from Mactelecom Networks. 15 minutes ago, Ubiquiti released Unifi OS Dream Machine SE as well for the UDMs on 3.2.7. Now this is a really huge update. I know I do say that on every OS update, but there's a lot jam-packed into here. Now Unifi OS 3.2.7 is still in release candidate, so you may want to wait until it goes to the full release. In this video, we're going to go over some of the cool features that are available in 3.2.7. If you'd like to support my channel, I now do have Ubiquiti affiliate links there in the description below. You could hire me at MacTelecomNetworks.com, and we do have a Discord server. One big new feature is this subscription-free Unifi Identity. So before Identity was a paid-for service, and it still is if you're not using it local. So if you want to have a couple sites that are joined together and use the same credentials across them, you have to pay for it. If you want some more advanced features like Active Directory integration, you'd have to pay for that also. But this is now going to allow us to unlock any of our doors with our mobile phones. And this is unlimited users and unlimited doors. Before, it was scaled back to 5 users before you had to pay for it. For this, we also get the one-click Wi-Fi and the one-click VPN, which is great for businesses. But I'm just going to show you how to do it with your door access using a test email. So let's hop over to my UDM SE. Under my Unifi Access Controller, I have one hub and I have one reader. But to add new users, we need to go over to the Unifi OS settings. Now we're at the Unifi OS settings, we need to go to admins and users. And from here, we need to click on users. We could see this little phone icon in the top right. So this is for our identity that is local to this Unifi OS. So I'm going to click on it. You can see that we have a custom logo and our name. Right now, it's just going to say Mactelecom SE. That's what my console is named. We could also enable here one-click Wi-Fi, one-click VPN. Also, we could do the EV stations and the door access, which is auto-enabled. I already do have a couple users added, but let's add another one. We're going to hit the plus icon and I'm going to add a user. This user, I'm going to call it test, and the last name will be Mac, and then the email will be mactelecomnetworkstest@gmail.com. Now here we could do a couple different things. We could add some credentials if we want to give them an NFC card, or if we want to add a PIN code. Another thing we could do the one-click Wi-Fi or the one-click VPN, but we're going to skip that for now. The next thing we need to do, we need to assign this user a policy for our doors. The only policy I have right now is called all doors. So we'll click on policy and then we'll select this one right here and we'll add that to the profile. After that's done, we're just going to press add and this user should get an email. It does prompt us saying that invite user to join Unifi Identity. It's going to send them over the link and it will email it to them. So we'll press send. Now this is a brand new email that I'm just using for this testing, but we could see Unifi Identity did email me. So let's open it up. Now it's saying, hi Test Mac, you have been invited by your admin to access Unifi Identity powerful features using Unifi Identity mobile app. So you need to download it on your phone and then we could load the credentials. Now the only thing the loading credentials does, you need to scan the QR code in the Unifi Identity app and then you'll be authenticated to be able to open the doors or use one-click Wi-Fi or VPN. Now up on screen, you could see my phone and you could see the doors that I'm allowed to get into. So I'm going to press on the door. And that's unlocking it, and you probably heard it ring in the background behind me. One thing that this version of Identity is missing is the mobile tap, which was an awesome feature found in their other identity that you have to pay for. I hope they do bring that to the free version. Now, the next major improvement within this is Shadow mode, and that's their spin on high availability. And I have been testing this out for about 6 weeks, and it's been working well. I did post a picture on Instagram for people to guess what I was doing. Today, we're not going to be testing Shadow mode. That's going to be a total separate video. I'm redoing my network rack, and I'm putting in a second UDM SE. But there is some manual intervention with the Shadow mode. It isn't fail over right away. And what I mean by that, if we look at the requirements and we scroll down and we see the failover. So on the LCM screen on Shadow mode console will prompt you to take over. Then we would have to disconnect the cable between the Shadow mode console's WAN port and the LAN port of the primary. We would then have to plug it into the secondary and it will come up and running with all of the same configuration, but we will do a full video on it. Something else that's really cool is VLAN Magic. We could create a new VLAN right in this topology page. If I click on the plus icon, it says create virtual network. It does prompt us saying automatically configures your network with optimized settings. These can be adjusted anytime in the network section, and we'll call this YouTube test. And then we'll press create. Now this will automatically create us a VLAN and I will show you that. But under here, we could see virtual network. We could isolate this network, so that would act as a guest network, and then we could select the devices that appear within this network. So on our topology, if I want the iPad, if I want this other device, if I want my MacBook, within this VLAN, we could do it right here and then press apply changes. And these 3 devices will get this new VLAN. Looking at our settings under the networks, you could see that it's created YouTube test under VLAN 3 and it's given us a subnet. We could also do virtual network overrides, which is kind of like this if we go over into our client devices. Say I want my Google Nest Mini off of the Dolores Wi-Fi network and I don't want to log into apps to switch it. All we need to do is click on the client, go to settings, and then go to virtual network override. It does say proceed with caution. Ensure that the new VLAN is allowed tagged on all upstream switches, and we're going to proceed, and then we could select whichever VLAN we want this to be on. Another big improvement that lots of people have been asking for is something called DNS Shield. This is DNS over HTTPS, and you could find it under the security and then under the ad blocking. So we could see DNS Shield, and it ensures privacy and security over DNS traffic by encrypting it using DNS over HTTPS. With auto, Google and Cloudflare are used as the default servers. If we want to do auto, you'll see Cloudflare and Google show up, but if we want to do manual, we could click on the screen and then you could see a whole bunch of different providers. Now, the last thing we're going to look at is the new Unifi Innerspace, and some might be saying this looks awfully a lot like Design Center. Well, it pretty much is, but on your local console. But it will grab all your devices from your controller and it will put it here on the right. So say we want to drag and drop the Unifi in-wall enterprise, we could do that, and then we could look at the coverage that we're supposed to be getting. We'd also draw the walls on, and we have a bunch of different settings for the floor plan. Now that's going to be it for this update of Unifi OS 3.2.7, and I'm really happy in the direction that Ubiquiti is going. Like I said, I will do a full other video on the shadow mode so that you get to see that. If you have any questions about this video, leave it in the comments below. If you like this video, hit the thumbs up button. If you're new here, please subscribe and hit the bell icon. All right, thanks.